Okay, so I'm going to go through the first steps in building my DIY mountain board. So first things first, I've got my deck here, which was bought from AliExpress. It's called the Maytech Electric MountainBoard deck, and there's a few different ways you can buy it. I bought mine with the bindings, and I don't know whether I'm going to use them yet or not, but I thought I may as well get them with, and then I can decide if I'm going to use them or if I'm going to change them for slightly higher quality. And then the deck itself, which is not very flexible, but for the price, it's really good value for doing a budget electric mountain board, which is what I'm trying to do. Cool. So first thing I did once I got the board, which I've already actually done, I don't think I need to show it in the video, is take the bindings off, which is just a screw and a bolt on each end here. So for that, you're just going to need obviously some sort of spanner and a screwdriver, nice and easy. And then once I took those off, there was actually a couple of cuts of grip tape here for the feet. I decided to peel those off because what I'm doing is, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like that design. Not particularly fond of it. And the other thing is, there's a really common DIY build which is based on this, and which is what I based my build off. So I'd rather have something a bit more unique. So I'll spend a little bit more money on that, but that's completely up to you whether you do that. But what I'm going to focus on now is the deck and how we're going to work on that and get that ready. So yeah, so there's your back, there's your front, same design on both. Now I'm going to start off with the bottom here. So I've purchased some vinyl wrap, and I've used my own custom design for this. And I'm going to go over the process for getting that vinyl wrap on here. So there's a few things you're gonna need for that. Now, some people don't bother prepping the board before they put it on. Some people use glue, some people don't. What I've decided I'm going to try and do this video, and it may or may not work, is to do it without glue. But I still want to get a good finish, and this print on here is quite smooth and slippery, so I'm a little bit worried about my vinyl wrap not taking that well or peeling off a little bit too easy. So what I've chosen to do is I'm going to sand it, and I've got a little detail sander here, which is going to be perfect for that. And what I've done is I've got a few different types of sanding sheets for this, but really what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm finishing off with the finest sand possible. So it's a little bit rough but still smooth. I don't want it too bumpy that you can feel it through the vinyl. So I've gone for like super fine, which is 240 is the value I've gone for. Otherwise, the closest you get to it. Other things I'm going to need for this is this here, which is just a craft knife. You could just use a standing knife or a razor blade, but that'll be to help us cut around the vinyl a little bit later on. Face mask, just so I'm not inhaling dust. Hopefully most people have already got some of these. I've got my vinyl wrap, which I'll show you a little bit later. One tool which came with my vinyl wrap, which makes this process a little bit easier, is a squeegee. So the company I bought my vinyl wrap from, they're called Buzz. We'll see, how it goes with their vinyl wrap before we make any judgment on whether it's the best place to go or not. But one thing is cool, they do provide you with this cool little squeegee, so that's going to make it a little bit easier to apply. If you don't have one of these, you can buy them from places. Probably the easiest thing is just use a piece of stick card and put some duct tape around it, or something like that. I've seen people do it different ways. Cool, so that's everything you need. So I'm really excited about this one because, like I said, it's a custom design of one. So this board is going to be called the Shuba. If there are any Final Fantasy fans watching, they'll understand that reference. A big beast that takes you places. I forgot it's funny anyway. So this is the one that's going to go underneath. Nice dark blue background. I haven't worried about having a design where the trucks are going because you're not really going to see it anyway. You'll notice my vinyl wrap is a heck of a lot wider and longer than my board. That's deliberate because you want to, firstly, actually if you look here, the vinyl actually came already peeling off the backing here, which isn't great, but that's another reason why to get slightly bigger, so you got more room to. Because I was having a really fun time sanding and talking to you guys, and it wasn't even recording. But anyway, so a couple of things. So firstly, I forgot to mention one other tool you're gonna need: hairdryer or heat gun. I stole mine from the missus. If you've got a heat gun, even better. I will do the job. It's fine. So I attached my 240 standing tape, and I've already gone over it. It's gone over real easy. I don't need to use any other tape. This only took me like a minute. This was real quick. And now I'm feeling across it, a lot less smooth, but what I should say is that it feels a bit more grippy, but it's still got overall a smooth texture. You're not going to notice it through the vinyl. Really important to focus on the edges because that's where it's going to peel, that's where it's going to lip. So I can see right on that edge there, I've missed a bit on the corner, on the lip, so I'll just go over that now. Oh, I'm not plugged in. See, I've got kids in the house, so always worried about leaving stuff on and the kids getting to it. Or me doing something stupid like that. Okay, so I went pretty heavy around the edges there, and the reason I did that is I actually want to get most of this design off, just in case when I'm putting my vinyl on, if I don't end up right to the edge where the previous design was, I don't really want, you know, too much noticing and sticking out from underneath. And then over the top here, you're not worried about getting the whole design off, just getting that rough surface. So so I've gone over that now once. Let's get that out. Wipe down. And let's wipe down the surface as well. That's why I'm keeping my mask on. So get it all in my face. Okay, so we see that close up. That does not feel rough at all. But I'm still happy with taking some of the shine off. Hopefully we'll get a slightly better stick from the vinyl. Like I said, I've gone around a lot of these edges, probably more than I need to. And that's why it's good that I'm using that real fine sander sheets. The other thing I forgot to mention with this board, because it's the electric MountainBoard, they've actually got a whole heap of pre-screwed holes for the enclosure and for the trucks. It's sort of already set up, ready to go, which is pretty cool. I haven't sanded the top because at the moment we're just doing the vinyl wrap underneath. Right, so I guess the most important thing about this is going to be centering it. So I've chosen my design so that the main image is in the middle and it's just plain blue underneath both trucks. And I've got lots of extra space on the sides, as you can see, and extra space on each end, as you can see. So it means I don't have to be too precise, but the main thing I want to do is really sort of line it up right in the middle and try and get it as straight as possible, which isn't going to be the easiest thing. Try to make sure I'm not cutting off part of my design here. My kids, you can hear. Now guys, while I'm away, I want to give you as good a video as possible, and also just going to focus on getting this right more than getting the camera angle right. Okay, Okay. Be careful with your knife. Okay, before I cut myself, what I'm going to show you is the horrible finish this vinyl's got at the moment. But that's okay, we can tidy it up. So I'm going to use the knife and try not to cut myself too much. The only bit I'd be careful of, which I've missed in a couple places like here, it's going too far in. But I think what I'm going to do is once I finish is just give it a real gentle sand around just those edges to try and get it looking smooth and even. It might backfire and might make it look rough, but we'll see how we go. But again, I'm really loving this. Alright, this shoe pop. Quickly. But anyway, I finished sanding it. I was way happy with the finish from sanding. Then trying to cut it, you can see that all around the edges. That's a lot of it. It's not perfect by any means, but my first ever attempt at vinyl wrapping, I'm really happy with that. So all I'm doing now is just going around all of those edges with the hairdryer on full heat. I think that sums up the vinyl wrapping process. Not perfect, but really happy considering this is my first attempt. Right, quick on my hand. So there you go. Ride the shoe off. Cool. So yeah. Next thing I'll be doing is, once I've got my custom grip tape, is putting that on the front here. And the other thing I'll show you, since I've already got that part, is the enclosure case I'm going to be using, which is the Seahorse SE300 case. I just got this from a local camera shop, but what's important about this is it's dust proof, it's watertight, all those sort of things, and it comes with the foam inserts, okay, which I can take out as, you know, depending on what I need to use once I've got my ESC and my batteries all sorted out. Alright, cool, that sums it up. Thanks guys.